Responsive web design with HTML5 and CSS walks your students step by step through the process of creating effective websites that drive traffic and retain customers. The new edition provides a solid foundation in HTML and CSS concepts before diving into responsive web design, which is essential for today's websites. The MindTap for responsive web design with HTML5 and CSS includes various coding assignments that ensure your students understand web design concepts and save you time grading. The integrated development environment contains features that provide insight on student engagement and allow you to mentor students who need extra help, even if you can't be there physically in the classroom. Before students begin their web design projects for each chapter, they are introduced to coding snippets. Coding snippets are low-stakes practice activities embedded in the reader. Coding snippets allow students to practice new concepts as they're introduced in the reading before moving on to the comprehensive graded web design projects. Students launch snippets right from within the reader as they're reading. These are ungraded assignments, and students can access them for practice as often as they need. After completing the reading and practice coding snippets, students move on to coding activities and projects in the code folder. The first 3 assignments are short, auto-graded assignments. Apply Your Knowledge requires students to open and manipulate a file to practice the skills learned in the chapter. In Extend Your Knowledge, students are presented with the same concept, but a more complex assignment. Analyze, Correct, and Improve assignments are debugging projects. Students must analyze a file, discover the errors, and fix the errors. In the lab, and Consider This Your Turn, are projects that build on each other throughout the course. There are 3 assignments each. These projects require students to manage files via a version control repository, which gives them exposure to a real-world tool and helps them build out a portfolio of projects. Each of these labs contains a README document, which outlines how a student can manage their files for these projects. We believe that requiring students to manage files with a repository like GitHub bridges their academic experience from the first 3 assignments with a more real-world project they may encounter as a professional. At the end of the course, students will have an online portfolio after completing these projects using an online repository. In our web design labs, students are given the instructional sidebar, which outlines the context and directions for the assignment. Depending on the complexity of the assignment, students may need to navigate through more than one page and complete more than one task. The tasks reflect what the lab is grading. This is how the grade is determined. The file tree allows students to open existing files or create new files needed to complete their project. Students can open multiple files in the code editor to complete their project. The web browser allows students to view their project as they complete their tasks. Students refresh their web page using the refresh icon to see their progress in real time.